Hello, everyone. I'm here with Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, who just won his seventh round. Fabi, how are you feeling?
Yeah, very good. I was definitely very tired after yesterday's games, and this morning also a little bit tired and also rather nervous about the game, because Mark is a player whose current rating is not super high, but he's definitely very underrated. I mean, this is there's no doubt in my mind at least. And okay, he's already clinched the Grandmaster title in this tournament, and he was performing even like close to 2800 level before this game. So it's not super pleasant to play someone who is maybe 100 points underrated, or perhaps even more, and and also because for the tournament it was still very important. I mean, it's still a close race, and each game will matter quite a lot. I suspect. Um, so when you're a bit tired and the game there's a lot at stake, it's of course a bit nervous, but I got a pretty good opening. I mean, I thought I had a very big advantage. Then maybe I misplayed it. Then I think he was maybe doing close to okay at some moment. Then he didn't remove my pawn from h6. I was a bit surprised because now his king is chronically weak, and then I also knight d5 was a mistake because he actually doesn't want this pawn. I mean, once the position opens, his king is too weak. Instead, he should play something slow like queen d6, rook c8, and try to consolidate and keep me away from his king basically. Because if I get active, then his king is much weaker than mine.
Yeah, I was watching your game and I noticed you started with c4, kind of a reverse Benoni Benko. I don't know how to call it because you ended up with the extra pawn. Then you gave it up, your d pawn, you gave it up at some point. And when I saw the pawn in h6, I was like, okay, Mark's got to be careful. But then next time I checked the game, it seemed that he didn't really, he wasn't able to do much. So it was a good, I think, a very convincing win from you. And I talked to you before this interview about how surprised you were that you had to double the white pieces. Tell me if you started preparation before or you waited for the pairing and then started preparation for actually white pieces.
No, I wasn't sure. I mean, I assumed that I would play Mark because um, Aram is the only other player who is on
Mm-hmm.
the same score. So I thought either I'd drop back down to the lower score group and play black against, let's say, Grigori, something like that. But then I would be dropping two score groups, and I don't know how it works, but I guess that's unusual. So then normally I should play Mark with either white or black. And in this case, I guess I doubled my color because his colors in the previous round something that I don't really understand, some Swiss system pairing stuff. Um, and I got white again. And then I don't know if I'll get two blacks in the last two games or if I'll now start alternating again. I mean, definitely the next game I'll be black, but maybe also in the last round I could get another black. But yeah, pairings in Swiss systems are always a bit confusing.
Yeah, I was confused myself, but Chris Bird did explain that. He mentioned that they look at the last game that you end up playing and they followed the path that you had and your opponent. And then if you had the same color, they keep going back to the round where you guys had separate colors. And the first round going backwards that you had the separate color was round three. And you had black and he had white, and that's why this happened. Because I was shocked. I was like, "Oh, interesting! I've never seen the player with the more points and also the higher rated, but it counts the ranking, of course, first to double. But I guess that's how it works. I hope you get one white, one black.
Yeah, thanks. No, I think it's all done anyway by a computer
Yeah.
program. I don't really even try to understand it. I mean, it's not really relevant. I look at my pairing. I understand that whatever the for whatever reason it happened, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes unlucky. But for whatever reason it happened, it was just programmed. So I don't try to think about it too much. Like in the last tournament, in the last round, I got a kind of fortunate pairing. I was also playing Mark, but considering that I was in not a must win, but a kind of semi must win, it was definitely a favorable pairing compared to like let's say playing Grigori for example, which was an option. So sometimes the pairings work out a bit better, sometimes a bit worse. I also got an extra black at the start of the tournament. It's not ideal, yeah, but I guess these things do balance out as well.
Yeah, and you're a very strong player, so I feel that you're ready to play regardless of which color you get. So, Fabi, tell me a little bit about how important is this tournament for you to qualify in the candidates next year?
Yeah, well, there's this FIDE circuit, which did exist last year as well, and I did win it last year. and it's direct qualification as the earliest qualification spot. Only one spot is decided this year, and then 7 spots are decided next year. So for me, it's not absolutely crucial to qualify for the candidates this year, but it is very nice, and I am aiming for it. And FIDE basically made a new system where you have to play 2 tournaments with like 50 plus players, which basically means an open Swiss tournament. And you have to play 2 of them a year. So that's why I'm playing these 2 back-to-back tournaments, not because I enjoy playing 18 games in 11 days. It is extremely exhausting, of course. And also I would prefer to have a bigger break in between tournaments, but because there was just no other tournaments that that I could fit into my schedule. Like for example, the Qatar tournament is going on, and it was immediately after my last tournament, but also halfway across the world, so I wouldn't even potentially get there in time for the first game if I had tried to make that tournament. So that's why this schedule, even though it's not really convenient, it was basically a must for me to try to qualify for the candidates. And now the situation is still wide open. Arjun is playing. I think only myself and Arjun have realistic chances. Arjun is playing in Qatar, and that tournament is just starting, but I mean, got underway recently. So if he wins, which is maybe not a must for him, but it's quite important for him that he wins to keep fighting for the spot, then it's still super close, even if I win this tournament. So depending on the result here and the result there, a lot of things could happen, and it could come down to the final tournament, the World Rapid and Blitz at the end of the year. But so far, I've done what I needed to do in these last 2 tournaments. Hopefully, I can finish out decently, and a tournament win would be very important and go a long way for me.
I know you won't have much time from this tournament to get ready for Rapid and for the Rapid and Blitz. I hope you don't have anything in between, and you'll get your rest, well deserved rest, and final training for that. And I hope you do well, Fabi. I wish you good luck. Thanks for taking all this time. I know you have another round later, so I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Back at you guys.